be determining the size of our face fabric, the cut length, and the cut width. On our website, you'll find a PDF with instructions that follow this video tutorial. In that PDF, you're going to find the formula written down, but I'm going to talk you through it here and explain a few considerations. So, for a hobbled shade, you're going to need approximately 2 times the length of the face fabric for the length of your shade. And that's because you have this hobbled effect on your shade all the way down. I like to calculate 1.5 times fullness for my hobbled shade. So what that means is if you have 6 inches between your tack points, you would have 9 inches in your hobble. If you have 7 inches between your tack points, then you're going to have 10.5. And likewise, if you have 8 inches of spacing, then you're going to have 12 inches of fabric in your hobble. So in our example, we have 7.75 inches. So I'm just going to sort of round up to the 12 inches in the hobbled section. So to figure out the length that you need for your fabric, it's going to be a formula that is the number of hobbled sections times 12, plus you have to account for your hem depth. So because our hobbled sections are 12 inches, I have a 6-inch hem depth on the face fabric of this shade. So it's going to be 5 times 12 plus the 6 inches of length that I need here. Then I'm going to add another 8 inches, which is what I need for the turn back on my hem to finish off at 6 inches, and I'll have 2 inches to turn back under. And then I want to add 6 inches to the top for my mounting depth, and that'll wrap the board completely. So the formula is written down in the PDF, and that's going to give you your length. If you have a print, you want to keep in mind where the top of your shade is going to be. So you have some adjustment, and so that's why generally I say figure 2 times the length of your shade is the amount of fabric you'll need. You'll have a little bit of adjustment. You'll have usually a few inches to adjust for pattern placement, so that you can get a starting point that is pleasing to you. And sometimes when you get a large print, you don't know where that's going to be on the bolt when they send it to you. So it gives you a little adjustment. So at the beginning, when you're estimating, just factor that you're going to need 2 times the length of your shade in yardage. So determine the width. That's pretty straightforward. The finished width is, the cut width, is going to be your finished width plus 8 inches for the side hems. So we're going to do a 2-inch double folded side hem. So in this case, for our sample shade, it's 24 plus 8 equals the 32. So for our cut size for our sample is going to be 32 inches wide by 80 inches long. And that's for a shade that's going to finish out at 24 inches width by 45. So you can see that for a 45-inch long shade, I need 80 inches of face fabric in length. So go back to your numbers, and you can plug it into that formula and trust the process. You'll need to determine, know how many hobbled sections you're going to have. And that's primarily why I feel that starting with prepping from the lining forward is easier in this fabrication style. So I've already cut, we're going to do a solid blue for this sample, and I've already cut it. This is the 32 inches wide, and it goes out 80 inches. I felt like you didn't need to watch me cutting this out, and that's how you calculate how much face fabric you need for your hobbled shade.